Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings be to all the Archaeological This is going to be the Torah beside the downfall of America, which has many codenames in the scriptures such as Babylon the Great, Babylon, Syria. Wisdom and knowledge shall be stability. There's going to be brothers that are put in concentration camps, FEMA camps, right? And I actually meant to bring out an article, but I ain't saved it. It's from what I got it saved from. Right? There's an article basically going into how there's over 800 FEMA camps within the United States alone, man. Right? The biggest one is in Alaska, which can contain 500,000 people, man. Right? You got them all throughout Texas. Most of them are in the South, man. Right? There's going to be brothers that, just put in all types of distress situations, man. Right? But all the things that were written aforetime are what? Written for our learning, man. Right? So the situations that our forefathers were put in, deliver them for what, man? So that can be written down so that we will have hope coming to these times that we're living in, man. Because brothers are going to be thrown into FEMA camps, man. Right? It's going to seem like it's no way out. But as long as you got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, you got this down here, man, you're going to be out, man. Because this is basically what's going to keep us stable in these times, man. As it's written, this is our comfort, right? Knowing that there's going to be a way out for us to be delivered and shit like that, that's going to basically comfort us in these times, bro. The rest of these people, they're going to be out here bugging out when they get thrown in the FEMA camp, especially these carnal Israelites, bro. Like, cause you got a lot of carnal ass Israelites talking about fighting against Esau, man, which is contrary to what the Lord told us to do, man. Right? The Lord and fighting against the Roman soldiers whenever they came to contain him, man. Right? He let them do what they was gonna do because it was ultimately fulfillment of prophecy, man. And it's the same thing in these times, man. Right? Isaiah 59:19 gotta come to somebody, man. A standard gonna be lifted for somebody, man. But a damn sure ain't gonna be lifted for somebody that lack faith, somebody that plan on taking up arms, man. Alright? So the first scripture on the ride, since I gave it this title to get Isaiah 33:6. This is Isaiah 33:6. It reads, it says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times," right? Not food, not water, right? Wisdom and knowledge of the scriptures, man. This is what's going to keep us stable in this coming time, right? When there's a famine, right? Knowing that the Lord will make a way for us to eat, that's going to keep us stable, man. Right? When you got pestilence out here dropping niggas left and right, the scriptures is what's going to keep us stable, right? If we fuck around and get put in a FEMA camp, right? Knowing with the situation with Peter, which is I'm actually bringing that out. Peter, he was thrown into a prison cell, man. And guess what? The Lord sent the angels to deliver him, man. It's going to take a divine intervention for brothers and sisters to be delivered in these times, man. And it's going to happen, man. Right? Because the Lord says it's impossible for him to lie, man. Right? But if you don't believe in that, then you're just going to be out here just naked as shit, man. Right? Because this is the whole armor that you have by Shemel Shah, man. Right? The knowledge and understanding of these scriptures, man. Right? This is what's going to keep us stable, man. Right? When you go to that word stable, if I'm not mistaken, it's firm, man. Alright? It's strength of salvation, for the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Alright? It's not the next scripture on the bread. It's the first Maccabees, the second chapter. Right? Because all the things that are forefathers, the situations and all that, you're supposed to mimic or, mirror on how they acted, man. Alright? First Maccabees 2:51. It says, "Call to remembrance," right? How do you do that? By basically reading what's in the scriptures, man. What are acts our fathers did in their time, right? How do you react to certain situations, man? What they did. And every single last one, what they do, they trusted in Yahweh Shemel Shah, especially King David. King David, he was the mightiest warrior ever known since walked the face of the earth, man. Right? He put his trust in bow and spear or anything else. He put his trust in Yahweh Shemel Shah because that power that he had was from who? The Lord. that's not going to come to somebody that plan on fighting against Esau or trust anything else that's carnal. Right? This is a spiritual battle, man. All right. So the next scripture I'm going to grab is the book of Romans 15:4. Right? Because whatever written in these scriptures, it's written for what? For you to take, digest within your mind, and learn from it. This is Romans 15. In verse 4 it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime, they were written back then, were written for our life, right? These times, man, so that we will know how to conduct ourselves in society, so that we will know what to do whenever we locked up in the FEMA camp, or any other situation, man. Right? This is our guide, man. Right? This is the playbook for us, man. Right? It says that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope, man. Right? And this is exactly why they were written down, man. Right? The testimonies of our forefathers, man. Peter being thrown into, the prison, right? Being delivered. Right? That gives us hope, man, because now we're thinking, well, shit, the Lord did it for Peter, so why can't he do it for me? I'm doing well to the Lord. Right? Daniel being thrown into the lions then, man. He got delivered. Right? The Lord didn't allow the lions to eat him up. Right? He was hungry. Guess what? The Lord put the spirit of Habakkuk to prepare him a meal and bring him that so he can eat, man. Right? Because he was in there for about 6 days, man. Right? The Lord, he can do that for us in these times as well, man. That ain't nothing for the Lord. You know, when you read, I think it's Genesis, maybe, I think it's the 3rd chapter. Right? Genesis told Sarah, because Sarah was basically laughing at the Lord, or not laughing at the Lord, but laughing like, damn, you know, I'm old in age, you know, I can get pregnant. She was laughing off, kind of. The Lord told us, anything hard for me to do? Like, ain't nothing hard for the Lord to do, man. The Lord can give you power to create food out of thin air. Or he can just do what happened, like, you know, what Habakkuk did for Daniel. Right? Put the spirit on, you know, with Eve or something, or somebody else out here to come and bring you food, man. Teleport them or whatever, man. Teleport you out of that FEMA camp and put you somewhere else where there's a full-ass meal cooked for you, man. Right? Divine intervention is going to intervene for the men of the Lord these last days, man. Alright? So everything that's written, these different testimonies that our forefathers had, this was written so that we can have hope in these days, man. Alright? Because you had some of our forefathers that see these times that we're living in, man. Right? They themselves said it was bad, man. Alright? So now I want to go to touch on this topic that I got written up, you know, prison camps, man. Right, because there's going to be some brothers that are thrown in the FEMA camps, man. Right, you know, and some Jake, especially the Jakes that are first coming to this truth, because I was one of them. You know, you hear about these kind of things and you start to panic, like, fuck, you know, I need to do what I can now. Right, but we still are in that spirit. You got to be in that spirit, man. Right, you got to be on fire in this thing. As the Lord said, you can't be lukewarm. Right, first coming to this truth, you can cause yourself to panic, man, because you're like, damn, you know, I'm new. I just now started serving the Lord, so if the Lord can defend me. Alright? So you gotta bring that comfort to Jake, man, because Jake therefore gotta bug themselves out, you know, when it comes to overthinking, man. Alright, so now let's go to Luke the 21st chapter. Luke 21 verse 12, it says, but before all these they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you. Right, that's what's coming in these times, man. Right, I don't want to, misquote it or whatever. But Joe Biden, he basically said something. I did a lesson a couple of days ago. He said something about, you know, those that are basically, they sound suspicious in their speech or their beliefs or whatever. You know, call the government on them and, you know, turn them in or whatever, which is basically deliver up to a FEMA camp, man. Right, because they have a FEMA camp set up all throughout the United States for quote-unquote conspiracy theorists, those that have, you know, beliefs going against the grain of the government, man, right, which is ultimately aimed towards the Hebrew Israelites, man, right? So if you claim to be a Hebrew Israelite, hey, this is why it's written that you got to count the cost, man, all right? Because we're going to be persecuted, and it says, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, right? We're just speaking about FEMA camps, right? Don't be surprised if you fuck around and get brought up to a government meeting or something, man. They asking you all types of different questions and stuff like that. What is it called? Interrogation room or whatever. Asking you what you believe in. Why you saying this? Why you saying that? Don't be surprised if that happens, man. Right? But there's a balance when it comes to these, you know, particular situations, man. The Lord gonna put you in that situation to do what? To try you, man. Right? And then if you pass the test, guess what? He gonna deliver you, man. Right? Which is what I'm gonna prove here in a second. All right? And it says, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. It says, and this shall turn to you for a testimony, man. Right? Because all these things that you're gonna go through in this side, this is gonna be written in your story in the kingdom of heaven. That's if you're part of the elect, man, because the ones that fold in the Lord, they not gonna be written, man. They're not gonna be written about in the kingdom, or they are, but they're gonna be written about in a shameful way. Oh, he forsook the Lord, man. Right? He gave up on the Lord when it came to a time of trial, man. All right. So now let's get Revelations 2:10. And it reads, it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Don't fear about the coming times, man. Right? Because the scripture tells you, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance, man. Right? You should be happy that this shit is coming, man. When I hear about how we're gonna be persecuted or whatever, right? Esau, making the laws more draconian, talking about releasing these niggas out to come and round us up. I get happy, man, because that's a sign that we finna be delivered and standards is gonna be lifted, man. You gonna have miracles take place, all that, man. All right? It says, behold, the devil, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, shall cast some of you into prison, which is speaking about female cats, man. All right? Then you may be tried, right? It's gonna try you, man. Right? To see if you're really for the Lord or not, man. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which is, it can be 10 days, like it's the number 10 if I'm not mistaken. That means perfection, man. Right, so the Lord is going to try you. Perfection, so to speak, man. Right, it can be 10 days, it can be 2 days, it can be 2 weeks, it can be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months. Hey, however long, man. But the Lord going to try you. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, and that's ultimately what we want, man. Right? Because we ain't coming to this truth just to fold on the Lord, man. We came into this truth to endure, man. Right? The scripture says to constantly endure, man. No matter what situation you put in, you gotta endure that shit, man. Right? In order to have hope of what our forefathers got delivered out of, man. Right? Peter, he was delivered out of the prison. I keep quoting, I'm gonna bring out in a second. You gotta have that same hope, man. Right? You don't want to come into that type of situation thinking that you finna be destroyed or you just finna be stuck in that bitch, man. Right? Nah, man, have hope that you gonna be delivered, man. Right? You was doing what the Lord told you to do. Right? So ain't no reason for the Lord not to deliver you, man. All right. So now let's get Acts. For Peter while he was in there, man. Right? And also, he was praying as well while he was in there. That's the same thing that we're going to be doing if we put in that particular situation, man. Constantly praying to Yahweh Shemel Shah to deliver us, man. All right? It says, and when Herod would have brought him forth, right? And why was Peter cast in the prison? For teaching his truth. Teaching his truth, man. And ain't that why some of the brothers are going to be cast in the female cast now? For teaching the truth. All right? It says, if I'm not mistaken, he was cast in the prison for that reason. It says, and when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, right? He had two soldiers guarding him, bound with 2 chains. The keepers before the door kept the prison. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and their light shined in the prison. Right? So an angel basically came and was sent to Peter, man, while he was in prison. And he smote Peter on the side, basically slapped him on the side of his face, and raised him up, saying, rise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands, right? Which is a miracle, man. Right? Because think about that. Chains are falling off of your hands. Chains that are probably tight as hell. All right? That's what the angel caused, you know what I'm saying, upon Peter, man. Peter had chains on him, but the angel basically had them chains slide right off Peter's hands, man. And the angel said unto himself, It's like it said to him, gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. Put on your sandals. Get ready, basically. And so he did. And he said unto them, cast thy garment about thee and follow me. And he went out and followed him. It was not that it was true, which was done by the angel. He thought he saw a vision. So it seemed unreal that Peter was going through that, man. That he thought he was in a dream, that he was in a vision, man. When they would pass the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leaded into the city, which opened to them of his own accord. And they went out and passed on through one street. And forthwith the angel departed from him. And when Peter was come to himself, he said, now I know of surety that the Lord has sent his angel, and he hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. Man, so as you see, Peter, he was put in that situation, put in the same situation that some of his brothers are going to be put in. But guess what? The Lord sent the angel to deliver him, man. Right, so you got to have this same hope coming into these times, man. All right. And also, not to mention, you know, Jeremiah was cast into a dungeon, man. Right? Jeremiah was cast into a dungeon. But he had no food, no water, no way to escape. But guess what? The Lord put the spirit on the Ethiopian eunuch to catch wind of what happened. He basically told his master, like, you know, hey, yeah, man, the Lord, he ain't do nothing wrong. He ain't got no food, no water. He gonna die in there. So the Lord allowed, or basically put the spirit in that king to give him the permit to go and deliver Jeremiah out of that dungeon, man. All right? Which is what can happen to us, man. Right? This is what you gotta have open, and this is what ultimately should comfort you in these times, man. All right? I think I just saw my homeboy. All right. So now this next little section that I got pulled up, I titled it, "Don't Fear What Death Is Presented to You," man. Right? Because we know the scripture that's written in Revelation the 20th chapter. Right? There be some of you that are basically beheaded for the testimony of Yahushua. All right? And there's going to be some here, as it's written. Let me see. I think I got it written down. All right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, the 16th chapter. All right, because just because you're cast into a FEMA camp, that don't mean that you're gonna die, man. Right? Even though it's written that some of us brothers are gonna be put to death in the FEMA camp for not bowing down to the image of the beast and taking that, you know what, Revelation 13 and 16. But the majority of us gonna live now. All right, this is Matthew 16 and 28. It says, "Verily, I say unto you, there be some standing here, right, which is standing here now, what shall not taste death." And this was written back then. This was, Yahushua speaking to his disciples, if I'm not mistaken. Right? This is what he's telling them. Right? Which is speaking about these times now because, hey, they died back then, man. That was over 2,000 years ago. This is speaking about this time now, man. "Verily, I say unto you, there be some standing here, what shall not taste death." We're going to have some that's not going to be, that's not going to die on the side, man. Until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. So you're going to have a lot of brothers and sisters that live all throughout this thing and get banged up in those chairs, man. And see, even if you are put to death on the side, you're going to be the first one risen up, man. All right? So now the next scripture on the grab is, the song of the three holy children, man. All right? Because when you read about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were basically cast into a furnace, man. Right? They probably thought like, damn, it's it. But they walked in that bitch praising Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. And guess what the Lord did? He delivered them. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab that. All right, so this is, prayer has arrived. One, and I'm going to start at one. It says, "And they walked in the midst of the fire, praising Yahweh and blessing the Lord," right? So as they was walking into that furnace, they was praising Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, screaming, "Hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahshua." That's what they was doing, walking in that furnace, man. If you don't know what a furnace is basically something that's used to burn shit, burn, metal, right? That type of stuff, man. All right? It says, now let's jump to verse 22, and I'm going to read to 27. All right, it says, "And let them know that thou art Yahweh, the only power, and glorious over the whole world. And the king's servant that put them in ceased not to make the oven hot with rosin, pitch, tow, small wood, so that the flame streamed forth above the furnace 40 and 9 cubits. So they put all types of shit in that furnace to make sure that they was gonna burn, man. Right? To make sure it was hot as hell, man. Right? It says, and it passed through and burned those Chaldeans and found about the furnace. So those same ones that threw all this shit in there, the Lord basically had that come and bite them in the ass, man. Right? It burnt them up, man. Right? Burnt up those ones that were basically throwing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that furnace, man. All right? It says, but the angel of the Lord came down into the oven together with Azarias and his fellows. Right? The angel is speaking about Yahweh Shah. You can read that if I'm not mistaken. It's, I think it's in Daniel's 3rd chapter. That's right. I think it's in Daniel's 3rd chapter. All right? It says, it smote the flame of the fire out of the oven and made the midst of the furnace as it had been a moistening wind. Right? So in other words, it wasn't affecting Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because the furnace that burns at a very high heat. Right? But it was like it wasn't even hot enough. There was a good reason there. So that the fire touched them not at all, neither hurt nor troubled them. Right? So Yahweh Shah came down and basically preserved them from burning. Right? Who's to say that Yahweh Shah can't come down? Say you finna get your head chopped off in the guillotine, Yahweh Shah come down and put his hand out. Of course, you ain't gonna be able to see. Put his hand out in front of the guillotine, and that bitch breaking your neck. They don't cut you. You get up in your spiritual power and break this stuff. That can happen, man. Right? Because, hey, the Lord came down and preserved them from burning, man. Why? Because they stood faithful in the name of Yahweh Shah. This is the same, acts that we gotta basically mimic in these times, man. Right? Because the scripture says, boy, be to them, faint-hearted, man. Faint-hearted those are those that have disbelief. You don't believe that the Lord gonna deliver you, man. Right? You don't believe the Lord is with you. Right? So now let's go to Bel and the Dragon. Alright, Bel and the Dragon was in verse 30. And it reads, it says, now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them. Why was Daniel cast into this lion's den, man? Because he didn't bow down to Nebuchadnezzar's idols, man. Alright? He cast him into the lion's den when he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions. And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep. So every day they would give those lions two carcasses, right, and sheep, man. Right? They were feeding them on a day-to-day basis. But this is what they did. It says, which then were not given to them, to the intent that they might devour Daniel. So they purposely starved the lions out so that they could eat Daniel, man. So that when Daniel was thrown into the den, that they would, hey, no hesitation, go and tear Daniel's ass up, man. All right, but this is what happened. Now there was in a jury a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for it to bring it to the reapers, right? So he was basically preparing a meal, right, for his his workers, so to speak, man. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who was in the lion's den. So the Lord had him do that, to do this, man, to feed Daniel, man, because Daniel, he was in there hungry, man. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon. I ain't never seen Babylon. Neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown, right? He snatched him up, right? He purposely went in, snatched his ass up, and buried him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over there. So in other words, he teleported Daniel, not Daniel Slotty, but Habakkuk, to the lion's den, man. And Habakkuk cried, saying, oh, Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which Yahweh has sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh. Now thou hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. Doesn't the scripture says in the book of Sirach 2, and I think it's 10. Let me grab that real quick. Sirach 2 and 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Lord was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despised they called upon him, which is nobody, man. And that's why Daniel said, hey, basically call up Yahweh Shem Yahshua for not forsaking me, man. All right? None of our forefathers that put their trust in the Lord was forsaken, man. They including us in these times as well, man. We're not going to be forsaken because we put our trust in the Lord. The scripture says, blessed is he that trusteth in Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. All right? The Lord, he takes great pleasure in those that put their trust in him, man. Right? Because that takes a lot of faith, man. All right? So, back in 38 it says, and Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh, now that hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat. The Lord provided him a meal, man. And the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. He teleported him back, man. That's divine intervention, man, at its finest, man. And that's what's going to be taking place for us as well, man. This is what you got to have hope in these last days, man. If you don't, you just, hey, shit, I don't know what to tell you, man. All right? Now this section that I got now that I'm finna bring up is entitled "When Our Enemies Compass Around Us," compass around about us, man. Because we know that we're gonna have hella enemies in these last days, man. Because the scripture says, I think it's in Matthew 24, right, that we shall be hated by all those in the world. Roughly paraphrasing, man. We're gonna have a lot of enemies in these times because you could have Esau, they're gonna be getting the minds of people, man. We're gonna be demonized, all right? People gonna be here trying to kill us and shit, man, right? You know, 100,000, you know what I'm saying, racks on our head, right? For those that can get us, right? You're gonna have, you know, the military out to get us, man. Right, but guess what? Don't fear that shit, man. Because King David, he went through the same thing, man. Right, and I got a scripture, let's go to the book of Psalms, the 3rd chapter. Alright, so this is the book of Psalms 3 and verse 2. It says, many there be, which said my soul, there is no help for him in Yahweh, Salah. But thou, O Lord, art my shield, or are a shield for me, my glory and the lift up of my head. I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill, Salah. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. I would not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about, right? So King David, he had thousands and thousands of enemies, man. It's going to be the same thing in these times as well. We're going to have thousands upon thousands of enemies, man, all right? But King David said he's not going to be afraid of this shit. Neither should we be afraid of it because, hey, if Yahweh Baal Shem Yahshua got us, who could be against us, man? All right? Verse 7, it says, arise, O Lord, save me, O my power. For thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto the Lord. Thy blessings upon thy people Salah. All right, so King David, he even knew, hey, that the salvation comes from Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. But each and every time that King David, he went into war, the Lord delivered him every single damn time, man. Right? King David was slaying thousands and tens of thousands of people, man. Because that was the power from Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And it's the same power that we're gonna get these times, man. Right? So we're gonna have enemies in these times, but just how the Lord delivered King David from all his enemies, it's gonna be the same thing in these times, man. Alright? So you can also read Psalms the 18th chapter. Psalms the 18th chapter goes to, you know, the spiritual power that Yahweh Shem Yahshua gave to King David, man. Alright? The spiritual power that King David had, he was able to leap over, you know, big ass ancient world walls, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Beating niggas in the dust. We're gonna have that type of power, man. You know what I'm saying? Alright? Let's get the book of Isaiah. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and read through Psalms 18th chapter. Alright, because you know, spiritual power, that's coming back in a big way in these last times, man. Alright? And we're gonna have spiritual power in order to get out of certain situations, man. Alright, that's just what it is. Like, one of us can't fight against 30 or 100 troops with these mortal bodies, man. We're gonna have to have some type of divine intervention to be delivered, man. Alright? So this is Psalms 18 and 29. It says, for by thee I have run through a troop, And by my power I leaped over a wall. Right? So he had the type of power to leap over a wall. And these ain't talking about small walls, man. These is big ass walls, man. Alright? As for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The Lord is trying to be his abundance to all those that trust him. I forgot the definition of it. If I'm not mistaken, the buckler goes into, armory, man. Right? And Yahweh is an armor in these times. Right? He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For you, for Solomon, who is Yahweh, save the Lord. Who is a rock, save our power. It is Yahweh that girded me with strength, right? It's Yahweh by Shemel Shah that equipped King David with that strength that he had, man. And it's gonna be the same thing with us in these last days, man. Alright? And making my way perfect. And making my feet like hinds feet, right? Fast, man. Alright? Instead of being upon my hind places, he teaches my hands to war. Right? So that power that King David had, that might that he had, that was given to him by Yahweh Shemel Shah. It's gonna be the same thing these times, man. It's not even brother, you know what I'm saying, can fight and shit like that, man. Alright? But as soon as the Lord give you that spiritual power, it's gonna be programmed in you, man. Right? Because it's already in our DNA. And that's scientifically proven, man. That's why we already elite at the shit that we do, man. Right? Who do you see running football, basketball, track, golf, all that? Jake, man. Right? Because Jake already has a form of, I don't want to call it spiritual power. The elect have this spiritual power in their DNA. It's just waiting to be unlocked, man. Right? Once the Lord activated, you're going to have it, man, for sure. Right? And it says, he teaches my hands to war so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued my enemies and overtaken them. Neither did I turn again till they were consumed. Alright, and that was pretty much it, man. You can read the rest, the rest is basically going into that power that King David had, man. Right? But hey, since King David trusted in Yahweh Shemel Shah, the Lord, he did that for him, man. It's going to be the same thing these times, man. Right? Because there's brothers out here, as well as sisters that trust wholeheartedly in Yahweh Shemel Shah. We don't plan on stocking up on guns, none of that bullshit, man. We plan on trusting Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. Right? I don't plan on getting no fucking gun, man. Fuck that gun. That gun can jam with you, man. Alright? But this is why all things are written before time, written for our learning, man. Right? The Lord delivered our forefathers. We're going to do the same thing for us in these times as well, because this time it's going to be more, dramatic, and it's going to be more serious in these times, man. Esau got technology, you know what I'm saying? That'll really, I can't even fucking fathom it, man. Like, Esau got technology that you ain't ever even seen, man. Some shit that you would see straight off a movie, man. Alright? So in order for us to be delivered, hey, we gotta have that type of power, man. Right? To defend ourselves from deliver. That's why it's written. If the Lord ain't showing those days, no flesh would escape, man. Roughly paraphrasing. Alright? But let's go to Isaiah 59:19. This is Isaiah 59:19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. And the enemy shall come in like a flood, which is what Esau is about to do, man. He about to roll in on brothers, man. Like rushing water, so to speak. Alright? The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up his standard against him. When you go into that word standard, the etymology of it, it means to put to flight or to escape, some around, around those lines. Right, so you're gonna have brothers that get that spiritual power to put Esau and his troops to flight, man. And also just to escape, man. Right? The Lord will provide brothers to escape and stuff to come into. Alright, so I'm gonna grab this last scripture and I'm gonna close out, because why you think it's written that there's gonna be one of us that put thousands and thousands to flight, man? Alright? Me just being like this, I can't put thousands of people to flight, man. They gonna look at me like, what the fuck? Like, we finna jump this nigga, man. Right? It's because brothers are going to receive that God-like power, man. Right? So let's get Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It's like not Deuteronomy 32 and 39, but what is it? I think it's Deuteronomy 32 and 30. Deuteronomy 32 and 30, and it says, how should one chase 1,000, right? One Israelite man chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, right? And oh, that's another definition when you go to that word standard, right? It means to put to flight, right? So how it says, and two put 10,000 to flight, except that Rock has sold them and the Lord has shut them up now, right? And the way the two are going to put 10,000 to flight is because the Lord's going to lift up that standard, man. Right? You're going to have brothers receiving spiritual power, just like how our forefathers did. If the Lord provided our forefathers with spiritual power, what makes you think He's not going to provide us with spiritual power in a time of need, man? All right, so, with that being said, that's pretty much, all I had to bring out, man. I don't want to decide this lesson was edifying, and that this, sacrifice was accepted in the eyes of Yahweh Shemel Shabbat. Right before I close out, I want to give all the glory and infinite praises to the true and the only living powers, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakanash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings be taught to Akim, down pushing this word and truth and sincerity. Shalom and the Bible.